Hi everyone, and welcome to Drawing with Steffi. We're going to do another holiday themed sketch today. How about we do Santa Claus next? As usual, I'm using Paint Tool Psi, and we're going to zoom in here so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. And we're just going to do his face. And with Ms. Gibbons, I like to start with either an oval or a circle. Oops, let's move this out of the way. Here we go. I'm just going to start with a circle here, and I'm going to scoot it over a little bit. And then I'm going to do my little triangle here, and do kind of a half oval. And some shoulders, because he's a pretty broad guy. He's got a nice round face, so a big oval here. And what I like to do basically is just do rough, very lightly drawn usually. I'm drawing heavy so you guys can see what I'm doing. Lines, just basic shapes. Don't worry too much about if it's messy. That's quite alright at this point. And of course, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so we can stick his hat in there. Again, that's the wonder that is digital art. You can, if you make a mistake, it's real easy to fix it. And I'm just going to use like a kind of rounded off rectangle here for the top. And then a kind of a triangle-like shape for the top of the hat. See, nice and messy. It's okay to be messy at this point. And I'm going to lighten this up so I can start doing more detail. I'm going to switch colors so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And Santa traditionally has kind of twinkly eyes, so we're going to make them nice and squinty, because he's a smiley guy. And he's got some big ol' eyebrows. Again, just kind of rectangly. And I like giving him kind of a big, cute button nose here. I'm going to move it a little bit so it's a little bit more centered. There we go. And a little bit of a smile here. Though it's usually kind of hard to see it with all that beard that's going to be in there. I'm going to add another layer just so I can sketch a little bit better, and if I make a mistake it'll be easy to fix. A little bit of his bottom lip, and now I'm going to add in his ears, because you usually do see a little bit of his ears. And maybe a little bit of his hair. Usually see him having kind of curly hair. Sometimes people make him bald on the top. There we go. And now we're going to start with that nice big beard. I'm going to change colors again so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And I'm just going to make big, broad sketch right here to kind of work out how far I want the beard to go and how thick and wide. And do the other side of the mustache. Make it big and smiley. I don't want to put too much detail into it, because then it can get overworked. This is going to be kind of toony. Don't want him looking like a hobo. Nice big thick swirls. There we go. And a little bit of his hair in the back. There we go. And we're going to bring around the hat, make it poofy, because it's usually made of that kind of woolly material. And I'm going to bring it back around here in the back so it's a little bit more 3D looking. I'm going to make sure to vary my little curly lumps here so they don't all look the same. And overlap on the hair so it makes it look like it's in front. Again, you don't have to worry about it being messy at this point. It's still just the rough sketch point. Do a little bit of his eyes in there. Make his cheeks nice and happy. A little bit of a bridge at the nose. There we go. Some eyebrows to make him a little bit more happier looking. And now we're going to dress that hat as here. If hat is, yeah, I can't talk today. His hat. This is what happens when you don't have enough caffeine in the morning. And make his hat a little bit longer. And then I'm going to add that big old poof ball at the end. And I think I'm going to put a little sprig of holly there, just to make him a little bit more festive. That's the nifty thing about Santa. He can have so many really awesome looking costumes, depending upon who's drawing him or painting him. And give him a nice big cape. There we go. The Father Christmas cape. Gets cold on that sleigh. There we go. Nice and furry. Alright, I'm going to take away that first sketch. And also, when you're sketching digitally, make sure to save often. And I'm going to lighten this up again so I can make it a little bit easier to trace over. I'm going to start putting in the details. I'm going to make it lighter again because I don't want it to be too dark. And start putting in some of those details. And the nice thing is sometimes you can cheat if you're doing something very symmetrical like this. You can just draw one half of the face and then add in the extra details after you copy it over. That's only if you're doing it digitally, of course. But today I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to draw it out for you guys. And there we go. And some twinkly little eyes. Oops, let's get that pupil a little bit better placed. And there we go, big ol' highlights, some more highlights, and a little bit of his nose. Now, when you're sketching something in a kind of toony fashion, you want to do as few lines as possible. You want to keep it nice and simple. Get his hairline in there. Draw a little bit of his hair. This particular grandpa isn't bald quite yet. And a little bit of chubby cheeks there. And then draw in his ears. He'll probably get very cold when he's out delivering all those nifty presents. I like to kind of round out my lines when I'm doing something cute and friendly looking. The way you draw lines can kind of affect how the picture looks. And some teeth in there, and then his big old smile, which you can see just a little bit of the line creases. There we go. Then start doing some of the details of the beard. Again, I don't want to do too many. I want to keep it simple. There we go. And in case you guys didn't know, I do live streams fairly frequently. At least a couple times a week. If you sign up for my mailing list, I'll email you and let you know when I'm doing these live drawing events. I'd love to have you visit. Ask lots of questions. Get a commission done. I'll draw for you. I'll leave a link in the description area of the video here. So you can come visit me when I do a drawing day. It's lots of fun. It's great to have company. There we go. Lots of curls. There you go. And a bit of his hair in the back. And cutie marks there. He's a very jolly old soul. And I'm going to put a bell there. And another holly leaf. I'm going to kind of draw that on the fly. There we go. And then his fur cape. Keep it nice and foofy, but not too sharp. You want to think about it in a kind of 3D fashion too, so add in some fluff here and there. Help illustrate that it's going in a direction. And it's still under his beard and whatnot, so have it kind of going around. And make sure to have the fluff kind of going in different directions here. And then a bit of his regular suit down here. A little bit of his arms. Okay, back up to the top. And see, I'm not really following all of my lines exactly, because sometimes you get a little bit more freedom when you elaborate. Because those other lines are really, it's just a guide. And again, adding some poof, making it nice and random so it doesn't all look like the same line over and over again. Making some of it a little bit bigger, some of it a little smaller. And now for the holly leaves again. Woot! And overlapping is a good way to make something look kind of 3D. Adding in his hat. Oops. Erase that line there because I want the holly to be in front. And more poof. Fluffy things are fun to draw. And we're just about done. So if you guys have suggestions or questions about what we did today in this video, or suggestions of other themes or subject matters you'd like to see me do, please leave me a comment. You can email me at cybercatgraphics@yahoo.com or leave me a message here on YouTube or on my account at DeviantArt. I'm always happy to help if I can. There we go. Lots of cute. There we go. I think I'm going to erase those. Sometimes less is more. There we go. And I'm going to turn off my lines to make sure I don't need anything else. I'm going to give him a little bit of a line there. Make him a little bit more squinty. There we go. Join those up a little bit more. There we go. Add a little bit more detail. There we go. And there you have it. We have old St. Nick. And that is how you sketch Santa Claus. I hope you all have enjoyed. I had fun too. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.